The endings work on a simple basis. There are different sets of conditions for every ending in the mission. So for example, to reach the escape ending, you have to travel X meters since the start, reach a set amount of rooms, and you have to be somewhere in the office environment. The game checks every few seconds for all of these condition sets, and if any of them is fully completed and done, the corresponding ending starts, while all the other endings get blocked. Then depending on the ending, either something spawns around the player or the game waits for some specific trigger and then a script runs the ending sequence. There's also a set of default endings, which trigger if no other ending is applicable for a long enough period of time. This is done so that the player isn't locked to an endless playthrough just because they missed a condition they don't know about. These endings are just as valid as every other. The main goal behind all of this was one of the fundamental ideas about the mission and its inspirations. If you know what the Backrooms are, then you probably know that their entire concept is based around exploration. But even if you don't know anything about the concept and decide to play this mission because it looks kinda spooky or any other reason, you boot it up and are immediately thrown into unfamiliar environment with no hints, guidance or tasks to complete. So the whole point is that you are alone. There is no command center telling you what to do, no other individuals to talk to. You are in this strange new world, you know nothing about what could be around the corner, you have no desire to be here, and naturally you should aim for getting out, back to normality, back to the real world. Or at least explore and see how far you can get in this strange environment. So this sounds reasonable for what the mission is. You are alone and explore. Now imagine you are a game developer. Mission devs are making small games of sorts after all. Your game is all about letting a player walk around on their own, giving them no information on what they are supposed to look for or achieve. In such situation, do you think it's wise to give them tasks to complete? For example, I could create an exit and then place 3 keys somewhere and have the player look around for them before they can reach the exit. Or I could always spawn the exit points at fixed places so the player has to reach specific spots to reach an exit. Or maybe I could have the player hunt for clues on how this place works via some papers that they have to collect. But the player isn't told any of this. Collecting keys or solving puzzles isn't really what exploration is. It robs the player of making their own decisions and having an active role in the experience. It makes them turn into a metal detector Roomba, systematically checking every space for a key instead of focusing on looking around and trying to figure out where to go. I wanted to give the player an active role in the mission. They don't have to follow some immersion-breaking objective telling them to do a specific action. They are left to explore and decide for themselves how to solve the situation they are in. And depending on what they do, the mission will react, progress, and eventually reach an ending that fits the player's decisions. This way, the player is the one dictating how the mission goes, not the designer, which makes the player feel in control, actually experiencing the mission, having an impact on it, and being a part of it. Even though the designer made sure that all of this is possible, and that no matter where the player goes, the mission will handle it. Now okay, so no matter what they do, they will explore around. Cool. So should the mission be linear then? No matter where you go, you will encounter a monster after 200 steps, then you will walk a set of stairs 5 minutes into the mission, and you will get to experience the mission that way? Well, you can do that. It's a valid way to design games or missions, and many games use this approach to varying levels of success. To me, however, this sounds like a tourist attraction. This is a roller coaster. You are strapped in, securely on rails, you go through all the carefully crafted spooks in the exact same fashion every time. My project aims for a more self-sustained world. The environment isn't solely reliant on players' presence and actions. While there is no wrong path to take, different paths can lead to different results, and the mission accounts for all possible decisions a player can make. This can mean that one player doesn't get to see absolutely everything the mission has to offer, but it also means that their choices matter, and they all lead to some positive outcome. When exploring this world, you have to make choices and decide where to go. Maybe it won't always take you where you want to be, but you will never reach a point where the mission doesn't know what to do with you. There are areas of solitude and isolation for those who like that feeling and want to experience that aspect of the mission. Explore what it feels like to be lost in an endless maze of nothingness that slowly changes around you as you walk on. There are areas of interaction for those who want to see what it's like to find another living being in this place. Experience the dread of hearing a new sound somewhere between the labyrinths of walls. Do you go closer or stay at a distance? Is this sound a friend or foe? Do you prefer safety of being alone, or would you rather risk that for a potential ally and maybe new information about this place? And of course, the environment itself changes as well. There's a whole new area with its own rules, inhabitants, and environment. Maybe it contains an exit. Maybe it leads to yet another new area that is much more friendly and hospitable. On a player's first playthrough, they can encounter any combination of the above mentioned. Their playthrough is unique to them, tailored to their experience. Maybe they won't see something that others talked about, or something they had seen in screenshots. If a player so desires, they can hop back in and explore the other aspects of the mission. They can learn to navigate around the place, become familiar with the mission, and they become actual explorers, capable of going right for the kind of content they want to see. And the mission supports all of that, despite being generated semi-randomly and changing with every playthrough. Maybe when making your own projects, consider these things at some point. If you want or need the player to act in a specific way, you should probably let them know what that is and what you want from them. And if you want to leave the players to figure out how to deal with a problem, make sure the project can handle different possible solutions and doesn't restrict players for no reason. Of course, these things can get very complex very fast, and it's tougher to account for all possible scenarios, but it's something you can think about early on and change your mission for the better at very little extra cost or effort. A good mission in my eyes should know its aim, pick mechanics and features that support the main objective, and inform the players what it wants from them, while also inviting them to take the initiative. A mission where you are given a goal, but it's up to you how to achieve it, makes the player feel that they are the one achieving it, even if the mission is carefully designed around allowing them to achieve it, and actively supports the player in the background. Well, at least that's how I feel about it and how I design my mission.